Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's another week that we get to spend together learning and growing, and today is no different. We are also going to be learning something new and fun today. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I think it is such an important skill, a skill that will serve us and help us until we are literally very old. So that's always awesome, right? We're going to use it our whole lives. So I will stop chatting about it. I'll save the surprise. Before we get to it though, let's talk about our riddle. So our riddle is a fun one because all things should be what? Just a little bit goofy. It is, what has 4 fingers and a thumb, but isn't a hand? I'll let you guys think on it, and as always, after we finish reading a bit of our chapter book, we will figure out the answer together. So if you can't figure it out by yourself, don't worry. Teamwork makes the dream work. All right, guys, let's jump into it. I hope you guys are excited because we are learning a super cool new skill today. So, what are we talking about? I'm talking about sewing. This is something that'll help you no matter who you are, where you're going, what you plan to do in life, who you know, all those things don't matter. I guarantee you at one point you will rip something will split open, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I wish I knew how to sew. So, I'm gonna show ya! Now, I do not claim to be the best sewer in the world. Absolutely not. I know a few stitches. I'm going to be showing you one. It's called the ladder stitch, and it is helpful to close up pillows, to close up little tears in fabric and clothing. Specifically, I will be repairing this guy. He's got a rip right here, and you can see the fluff is starting to come out, and nobody wants that. This is a comfy pillow, right? We don't want to lose a comfy pillow, so we're going to fix it. We're going to sew it. This is where our sewing kit comes in. So I got my sewing kit from the Dollar Tree. It's nothing crazy. It came with needles. It came with some thread, some safety pins, some buttons, a whole bunch of stuff for only $1. Now, I understand that a lot of you kiddos watching right now are like, I don't have my own sewing kit. That's okay. Go ask. Get permission. I'm sure someone in the house has one. That being said, let's be very respectful if we're borrowing someone else's things. I also want to let you guys know sewing needles are sharp. So please be careful, be responsible, and be aware. As we learn to sew, there is no doubt we are going to prick our fingers a little bit. It's just a given. But let's try our best to avoid. All right. So now that I've talked about what we need and what we're going to be doing today, let's get into it.
All right, guys, we're ready to start. I wanted to give you a closer view of what I've got going on in my sewing kit. Like I said, I've got needles, I've got some thread, I've got some safety pins, some buttons, but I don't need them. I'm going to put them away. I'm going to put my extra needles away as well. And I'm going to be using black thread for this. Now, as you guys can see, there is something in the middle of my sewing, the eye of my sewing needle. I'm going to show you best I can. You can see this tool slides through. Then you take your string. You go through. A lot easier than threading a needle. So my advice is always keep one of these handy in your sewing kit. So now we're going to take it, I hold it with that finger, and boom. We've threaded our needle. Now we're going to take it. You can see I'm pulling the thread back. The thread for this project, this little sewing project, doesn't have to be too long, but I always like to make it longer than normal because better safe than sorry, right? So now you can use scissors for this. I'm going to be able to just use my hands, so I wrap it and boom. So now we've got the end of the thread. You're going to wrap it around your finger. You're going to tie it off. And then a trick I learned was to take it and roll it around. So that way, look how big that knot is. You think anything's going to be able to pull through that knot? Whew. Maybe. Let's do it one more time just in case. I'm always a worrywart when it comes to making sure my knots are good enough. All right. I think that's good enough. You can see the size of my knot. It won't get pulled through the fabric. That's why we knot it. So now I've got a whole threaded needle. So now I'm going to take away the extra thread. We're gonna wrap it back up. Ooh. And we're going to put it away. And now I've got my needle. I've got my pillow. As you can see, I took, it's a little bit of a tag in there still. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the outsides of the fabric, I'm gonna turn them in a little bit so it looks like it's matching with everybody else. And I'm going to go from here, I'm gonna go the inside here, right in, because I wanna hide this knot. I don't want anybody to see it. It's a secret. So I go from here, and then keeping the fabric still kind of turn, you go boom, and you can see it's still, I'm stitching on the inside where I've got it turned over. So I pull through. You can see it's pulling it together. Ooh, very exciting. Next, we're going to go here, pull through, and there you go. And we repeat this over and over and over until it's all stitched up. So bear with me. Pull tight, repeat the step. Thankfully, this isn't a crazy repair job. As you can see, I almost stabbed myself, so we gotta be careful. I wasn't joking when I said that. So now we go over here. We're gonna go in again because we're trying to make it a secret. We don't want anyone to know it was broken, right? I'm having a little trouble. This fabric is not kind. Okay, there we go. There we go. And then I'm gonna go back through. I like at the end to go through everything once. So then you can see I've finished, I've pulled, and I've got a circle and my thread. What I'm going to do is tie a knot with it. There we go. And for safekeeping, I go back through, I pull it through, and we're gonna do the same thing. All right, there we go. I'll get some scissors and I'll cut that up in a second, but yeah, no more hole. All fixed up.
Our positive action or positive tip today is once again going to be focusing in on feelings and just how stinking important those guys are. Because, like it or not, feelings really affect how we act and feel. So, as you guys remember, if you've seen our previous video about feelings, you know that feelings help us interact with the world around us as well as our brain, what's going on up here, right? Now, I thought it was super important to talk about just exactly what feelings do, because we have a lot of them, right? Happiness, joy, sadness, confusion, anxiety, worry, a whole bunch of feelings. I could probably talk for an hour just naming all the different types of feelings. But what we've got to talk about are how feelings and emotions are different, right? Because we talk a lot about how we feel, right? But our feelings are formed by our emotions. Now, someone might be saying, what? Can you break that down a little more? Sure. So when we are finding out we have a pop quiz, oh my gosh, I know my heart starts racing, I get a little anxious, maybe a little worried, because I know that tests make me anxious, and that's okay. I just prepare for tests. But when it's a pop test, it's like, you know, you get a little bit more scared. That is an emotion. Now, a feeling is taking that emotion and giving it a story. So, oh no, I'm scared. But now why am I scared? I'm feeling scared because of this pop quiz. You see what I'm saying? Once we're able to identify our emotions and our feelings, we figure out what's happening up here a little bit more. Now, let's pretend that it's not as straightforward as a pop quiz. Let's say we've gotten to a very big disagreement with our friend, and we don't really know what's going on. We don't know where our friendship stands. That's never a fun feeling, right? Well, let's take a step back and do some self-reflection to see what exactly may have happened. Did we say something? Did we not do our best? Were we not kind enough? All those types of things. So let's see. Maybe they said something. That thing was a little rude and it upset you. So that emotion that you experienced was upsetness, sadness, maybe a little bit of anger. All okay in moderation. Now, our feelings tell us, well, you made me feel upset because you did this. Once we're able to recognize emotions and feelings and how they interact with the world around us and with our brains, we're going to set ourselves up for success. And I know you guys might be saying, well, I already know I feel this way because that emotion just kind of tells me that. Well, not everybody has the same brain that tells them the same thing. Everybody's got a different brain, right? Just because your brain tells you this reaction is this, angry looks like this, sadness looks like this, doesn't mean that someone else's brain is going to say anger looks the exact same way and sadness looks the exact same way. No. Everybody's brain functions differently. That's why it's important that we talk about these types of things, because while some of us may know exactly what's going on, not everybody does. And we want to help everyone, right? Spread a little love and kindness. All right. So now that we've talked about our positive action, let's get reading. I hope you guys are excited because we are about to jump in to the wonderfully wacky world of George's Marvelous Medicine. And guys, when I tell you every time I pick this book up and we read another little bit of the story, that I find it becoming crazier and crazier and just absolutely all types of madness, I'm not lying to you. If you haven't started this book from the beginning with us, please make sure to go and check it out. I wouldn't mislead you. I promise it is an awesome book, an awesome story. So, for my friends who have been watching and following along with us, let's jump back in. The effect that medicine number 2 had on this chicken was not quite the same as the effect produced by medicine number 1. But it was very interesting. Whoosh! Shrieked the chicken. And it shot 6 feet up in the air and came back down again. Then sparks came flying out of its beak, bright yellow sparks of fire, as though someone was sharpening a knife on a grindstone inside its tummy. Then its legs began to grow longer. Its body stayed the same size, but the 2 thin yellow legs got longer and longer and longer, and longer still. "What's happening to it?" cried Mr. Cranky. "Something's wrong," George said. The legs went on growing, and the more they grew, the higher up in the air the chicken's body went. When the legs were about 15 feet long, they stopped growing. The chicken looked perfectly absurd with its long, long legs and its ordinary little body perched high up on top. It was like a chicken on stilts. "Oh, my sainted ants," cried Mr. Cranky. "We've got it wrong. This chicken is no good to anybody. Not if it's all legs. No one wants chicken legs." "I must have left something out," George said. "I know, you left something out," cried Mr. Cranky. "Think, boy, think. What is it that you left out?" "I've got it," said George. "What was it? Quick." "Flea powder for dogs," George said. "You mean you put flea powder in the first one?" "Yes, Dad, I did. A whole carton of it." "Well, then that's the answer." "Wait a minute," said George. "Did we have brown shoe polish on our list?" "We did not," said Mr. Cranky. "I used that too," said George. "Well, no wonder it went wrong," said Mr. Cranky. He was already running to his car, and as soon as he was heading down to the village, he was going to buy more flea powder and shoe polish. All right, we're on to Marvelous Medicine number 3. So, here it is, cried Mr. Cranky, rushing into the kitchen. 1 carton of flea powder for dogs, and 1 tin of brown shoe polish. George poured the flea powder onto the giant saucepan. Then he scooped the shoe polish out of its tin and added it as well. "Stir it up, George," shouted Mr. Cranky. "Give it another boil. We've got it. I bet we've got it." After Marvelous Medicine number 3 had boiled and stirred, George took a cupful of it to the yard to try on another chicken. Mr. Cranky ran after him, flapping his arms with excitement. "Come and watch this one," he called out to Miss Cranky. "Come and watch us turn an ordinary chicken into a lovely, great big one that lays eggs as large as footballs." "I hope you can do better than last time," said Miss Cranky, following them out. "Come on, chicken," said George, holding out a spoonful of magic medicine number 3. "Chick, chick, 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 chick. Have some of this lovely medicine." A magnificent black cockerel with a scarlet comb came stepping over. The chicken looked at the spoon and went peck. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" squawked the cockerel, shooting up into the air and coming back down again. "Watch him now," cried Mr. Cranky. "Watch him grow. Any moment he's going to start getting bigger and bigger." Mr. Cranky and Miss Cranky and little George stood in the yard staring at the black cockerel. The cockerel stood quite still as it looked as though it had a headache. "What's happening to its neck?" Miss Cranky said. "It's getting longer," George said. "I'll say it's getting longer," Miss Cranky said. Mr. Cranky, for once, said nothing. "Last time it was the legs," Miss Cranky said. "Now it's the neck. Who wants a chicken with a long neck? You can't eat chicken neck." It was an extraordinary sight. The cockerel's body hadn't grown at all, but the neck was now about 6 feet long. Here you guys go. Can you imagine going to like a farm or a petting zoo, the zoo, and seeing a chicken that looks like that? Absolutely not. That's all types of craziness. That's where we're going to stop for today, guys. We will pick up reading our book in no time, so don't worry. What we got to do before we say our goodbyes, though, is talk about our riddle. So, if you guys remember, our riddle was a kind of tricky one, but I think you guys can get it. So, our riddle was, what has 4 fingers and 1 thumb, but isn't a hand? Did you figure it out? Did you crack the code? The answer is a glove. Get it? Because it goes on your hand. It's got all those things, but it's most certainly not your hand. I thought it was a silly one and I enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Thank you for spending this Monday with me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching.